You know, we grew up in a culture and a family that lived in vans. You know, my first car was a Westphalia Volkswagen, and you know, had buses throughout time, and we just love the freedom that it provides. You can just put anything you want, surfboards, wetsuits, go to sleep in it, park it wherever, go off road, just get out from the daily grind, and just felt really freeing. So now with a kid, a 1.5-year-old daughter, it's just the best experience ever to share that with her and get out and go on adventures. And you know, having a van that was super well built and reliable and trustworthy, it just felt amazing to have that kind of tool to have in our tool chest for taking Heidi on a great adventure, and with Anna and our dog. And you know, we went up to Mammoth. It was just a classic California. Like, that's, you know, having those adventures at your you know, fingertips is why we love living in California. You know, go to the mountains, hang out in the lakes, go on hikes, and then, you know, you can drive down and chase some waves in a day's time. So, you know, we made it to Malibu. We did the Mammoth to Malibu. That was our whole vibe. And we timed it with a swell, and we got epic waves and just had a really fun time. So it was an epic trip. The highlight in Mammoth was just the spectacular energy of the nature was just awesome. It's a beautiful hike out here. Now we're through the patch of the trees. Look at this crater. It's a crater lake down there. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful, deep crater. And look at the size of this massive tree trunk. Heidi is just marveling about it. Heidi, what do you think? Look how big that is. What's in there? It was spending time in the mountains. Is very peaceful. Coming from the ocean, it's a different experience. And you know, we hung into lakes, and Heidi went swimming, our dog went swimming, and we kayaked, and we just hiked around, and I don't know, I just got out and changed up the scenery, and it's just a really refreshing experience coming from the coast to go up to the mountain. Everyone slept great. The beds were incredible. Heidi and I slept down here and Anna up top and just killed it. Just actually, it was so deafeningly quiet that we just slept heavy and through the night, which is a treat when you're a parent. I really think my favorite feature of the van has to be the refrigerator and freezer setup, because it was just like the coolest thing ever to have stuff fresh for that long and not have to worry about like if it's going wrong, or if there's, you know, if the ice is melting or something like that. And it's, you know, we had little milk setups for Heidi, and so we just were like, it was sick to have it all dialed. And even threw a little ice cream in there. We got on an ice cream kick. And you know, when I think about different scenarios where this van really amplified our experience, you know, it was definitely having the high roof, which is so cool. You know, hanging with Heidi, preparing food, you know, getting changed. It was just so nice to not feel like you're all cooped up, especially with the three of us. You know, we would definitely take it some pretty heavy off-road situations. Nothing too crazy, but we definitely got out there to where it was just super nice to have something reliable. But really just having the space once you got there to set up your game plan, you know, get the sunscreen on, make sure you got all the stuff in the bag, you know, the water, the snacks, and just make sure everything's dialed. And you could find it because it was enough space where it wasn't all clustered in a corner, you know. You didn't have to dig around. So I think just having the space was probably one of the most incredible assets of the van itself. So.